I'm here for a few questions, if you have any, if it's about the race, if it's about business, if it's about the values, feel free to ask. Thank you.
Can I put the first question, Nick? When you're a team manager, you recruit your team from scratch. It's not necessarily people who know each other, and they're going to have to spend 9 months together. The trust and the teamwork and all that doesn't fall from the sky. How do you build that?
Yeah, that's one of the key elements is, and actually I got asked to talk about diversity once. What do I know about diversity? Then I looked at my team that I run in the Volvo Ocean Race. We have 13 different nationalities working side by side. And something that you learn very quickly is you need to let go of the way that sometimes you would control these people, because there's a lot of different ways to do things, but you always end up with the same result. So you need to trust 100% what they can do, and you need to give them the full ownership of what that may be. Ownership, I think, is a very big part of trust. If someone feels as though that they do own something, they'll give you a much better result. So we need to step away from that micromanagement. We need to trust someone to do something. Of course, you work together to create something, but if you can do that, that is always a good start.
Different nationalities on board, and different personalities, different genders, different ages. How do you work with those differences? How do you turn them into assets?
Well, first of all, working with the different genders is, it certainly tidies our language up quite a bit. But you need to trust that your process is correct, that you'll always get to the same end result regardless of the way you get there. Like, it is a bumpy road. It's not this straight paradigm. It's a bumpy road, up and down and around. And different genders, different nationalities do things in different manners. But if you have the correct processes in place to trust that you're always going to get the same end result, that's what you need to do. You need to have the background, you need to have the processes, but you need to 100% trust your people that work for you, regardless of their background.
Questions from the crowd?
Yes? Working together? In 2005, with the team ABN AMRO, we spent 9 months sailing together. So when we did get to the start of the race, we knew we were a very, very solid team. By the time we got to the end of the race, having gone through the highs and the lows of the race, even more solid. And that's a bond that you cannot replicate how that actually happens, but going through such highs and such lows. The highs, for example, we got the world 24-hour record, which was phenomenal. The lows, we lost someone overboard and had to retrieve him from the middle of the North Atlantic Ocean, unfortunately deceased. So we had extreme highs, extreme lows, and there's a bond that's created that no one can break anymore. So from that particular team, there's three competing in this particular race, and we are as tight as ever. That includes the skipper of Axo Nobel, Simeon Tiampont, and we are a tight team. And you build that team based on all those values, and then once you go through the highs and lows, the fact that you built the team based on those values, you come out the other end always a winner. Okay, so the question is, how do you recruit the crew to the different boats? There's a lot of very good sailors in the world. So there's a lot of people very capable of competing in the Volvo Ocean Race. But as I said, you don't want a team of rock stars, you want a rock star team. So people with a reputation of being able to get along with each other, people who have second skills, because when you're at sea you don't have the opportunity to take your boat to shore to get it fixed. And people who are known to gel and create a good team are generally the ones that make it onto a team. You might get the odd rock star come in for the odd leg here and there, but generally they won't last very long if they're very short-sighted or individuals that can't gel together as a team or can't use those values. So it's very important to ensure that who you do recruit follow the values of what creates a successful team.
Yeah, so one question. No. If you're Mick, how does it work with the roles in the team? Are the roles more or less fixed? Are they same for all teams, or do they change over the course of the race?
So the question was, how do the roles work within the team? Of course, there's a skipper, a navigator, and they're pretty much the only fixed roles. The other roles, you need to diversify. You need, especially in this race, it's not the America's Cup or the Olympics where the race lasts for 1 hour or even less these days, where you have one particular role. When you're at sea for 3 weeks, you need to be able to steer the boat, you need to be able to trim the sails, you need to be able to, well, not necessarily cook, boil water to make freeze-dried. You need to be able to do all those different elements as part of the Volvo Ocean Race, and that's why this particular race is so unique. And if you do have the opportunity to be here, well, the teams are going to arrive from midnight tonight, but to talk to one of the sailors, you'll find they're extremely grounded. They have this huge diversity and diverse roles, not only on the boat, but in life also. So the question was, if you do have any second thoughts out there, what do you do? Do you turn to the team or to get support? And that is exactly it. I mean, we're in extreme conditions out there at sea, and to show a little bit of vulnerability and to show that to your team and to ask them for help will only get a better result. So you need to show a bit of vulnerability. You need to, if you don't think something's achievable for one form or another, you need to ask that question to your teammates who you've built a bond with and created a bond, and you can trust that they're going to help you. And if you can bring that all together as a team and work towards a final result, instead of trying to deal with it individually, that will get a much better result. Yes?
When you need to change some people during the journey, what is happening in the team? Because then bonding
Yeah. So the question was, when you need to change the team during the journey or during the race, that do you lose some of those team aspects? Just an example, actually, building the boatyard team, that's the area that I run the technical side of the Volvo Ocean Race now. And when we built the team, we started with a very small few, the nucleus, and we built the team bigger and bigger and bigger. And as one person came in, they were made to feel like the family. And then the team keeps getting bigger, another person comes in, they're part of a family, part of the team. Now, if you lose those people, it works exactly the same. You're not losing or changing the whole team all the time. You're losing maybe one or two, but the nucleus and the core stays extremely tight. And they come in knowing your values. And hopefully those people that do leave, they can carry on those values into what their future may be. And that happens in this race. It's extremely tough. You cannot have the exact same team. People need to rest also. But you're not going to change half the team at once to change the complete dynamic. What you're going to do is just bring in one or two and who can build off the teamwork and the camaraderie that's already been created.
One question connected to risk. When you have a lot of winners, actually, all would like to win Volvo Ocean Race. How is risk handling, so to say? How do you secure that that not going too far when all boats would like to win, and in the team maybe all are willing to take a very high risk to do that?
Very, very good question. Everyone wants to try and achieve the same. Everyone wants to try and win the race. Reality is not everyone can win the race. So to have all the correct values and to build the team before the start of the race is extremely important. To know when you can be high risk or low risk, back to the whole risk management thing, that is very, very important. So you need, of course, a strong leader. You need to build those answers within your team and all rely on that you've got the correct path forward. In saying that, performance is a huge part of the race, but also there's a lot of stakeholders involved in the race who use this race for other reasons, for using the business-to-business aspect, or turn the tide on plastics. They knew they weren't going to win the Volvo Ocean Race, but what they did know is they can use the Volvo Ocean Race as a platform to tell their message around the world. So the race is used in different ways. Of course, everyone wants to win, but apart from, well, some of the teams know they cannot win, but they're going to build and build to then create the values which can put them into a winning team later down the track.